What is up, guys? This is Swift, and I'm going to show you how to build an epic gaming rig for $1,000 or less. First thing we're going to do is go over a list of what you're going to need to build your computer. What you'll need: Intel full tower case, CD DVD drive, hard disk drive, motherboard, a very modest mouse, Intel CPU, graphics card or graphics processing unit, keyboard, operating system, power supply unit, random access memory, DDR3, screwdriver, bro. This you should know. Step 2, preparing the case. In order to prepare your case, the first thing you want to do is take the faceplate off. Be very careful not to destroy any wires that are attached to the faceplate. You will place a fan right there. Here are the slots for your CD DVD drive. Many cases have removable tabs such as these. What you want to do is remove the tab where you want to put your CD drive and install the CD drive. In order to install the CD drive, you will usually need to take some type of special bracket and place it on the edge of each side of your CD drive, as you can see here. Once you have your brackets placed on, you simply slide the drive into place and make sure that it locks into place. Next thing you want to do is install your front case fan. The installation process of this fan varies between cases. However, most of them have brackets like this, which require you to secure the fan into the bracket and then place the bracket back into your computer case. When reinstalling the bracket, make sure that you put your fan wire through so that you have access to it from the inside of the case, because without the fan power wire, you cannot power your fan. You are now ready to reattach the faceplate to the front of your computer. Congratulations! You must also place a fan on the interior rear of the case. This fan is very important as it helps circulation for the computer. Now, inside your case, you should have the following wires. This bracket powers your on-off switch, your reset switch, your LEDs, and your speaker. This is your 1394 FireWire cable. This is your USB cable, and this is your HD audio cable. You will also have the AC97 audio cable, which is old school audio, which you probably will not need. You should also have a conglomeration of wires here, which provide power to components such as fans and other things. You will need to wire your power supply to these cables, which I will show you later. Just tuck the cables in here for now. Step 3, installing CPU and RAM. Beneath this cooling fan is where you will install your CPU. Directions for installing your CPU can be located in both the CPU and motherboard instruction manuals. If you have the extra money, I recommend buying a separate cooling fan because the stock fan is very cheap. Now we are going to install the RAM. Installing RAM is pretty self-explanatory. You would depress the switch on the RAM slot, insert the RAM, making sure that it is not installed backwards. If the RAM is installed backwards, it will not fully seat itself into the RAM slot. You will notice on the 4 RAM slots there are 2 different colors. RAM must be paired up with these colors. For example, if you have a 4 gig card in one slot, you must have a 4 gig RAM card in the other slot of the same color. Make sure that when the RAM is seated, the white switch depresses and covers the edge of the RAM card. Also be sure that the RAM is flat and flush on both sides. Step 4. Installing the motherboard. First, you should clear the space where your motherboard will go. As you can see here, those little silver screw heads are actually the seat for the motherboard. In this case, the screw heads came automatically screwed in to the position they should be. However, your case may not be the same. If the screw heads are not installed, you must screw them in yourself according to the holes in your motherboard so that they will line up and you can fasten your motherboard. Once you have placed your motherboard securely in the case on top of the screw heads, you will fasten your motherboard to the screw heads using the screws provided. Make sure the motherboard sits evenly across the screw heads and do not tighten the screws incredibly tight. Now that your motherboard is secure, we will install the system panel connector first. Once your panel connector is assembled, you will gently place it in and make sure that none of the black pins are disconnected in the process. Next, we will install the exterior case USB connector. This cable will power the USB connections on the exterior of your case. Make sure that this USB cable connector is fastened securely in the USB 1112 port. The next cable we will connect is the 1394 FireWire port. Make sure that you do not plug this cable into the wrong outlet. Make sure that it goes into the IE1394_2 port. If this is in a USB port, you are likely to cause extreme damage to your computer. Now we will install the HD audio cable. This 10-pin audio cable should be installed into the front panel audio connector of your motherboard. If your motherboard does not support digital audio, instead you will use the AC97 cable, which is attached to this cable. Next, we will connect the exterior fan power to the motherboard. This motherboard has slots for exterior fans on it. However, some motherboards do not. In that case, you will have to power the fan directly from the power supply. Next, we will install the CPU heatsink fan power to the motherboard. This 4-pin connector goes directly next to the exterior fan connector, as such. Step 5. Installing the hard drive in the graphics processing unit. Install your hard drive into the brackets provided with your case. Some cases do not provide brackets and instead allow you to simply slide your drive into the case and fasten it with the latches provided. With your hard drive secured in the bracket, slide it into the position in which you prefer your hard drive to be. You will know that your drive is securely fastened when you hear the click. Before connecting your hard drive to the motherboard, you should connect the CD drive with your SATA cable. Once this end is connected to the CD drive, the next end will be connected to the motherboard via the Marvell serial ATA 6.0 GB connectors. The CD drive should be on the bottom connector. Now that your CD drive is connected to the motherboard, you will connect another SATA cable directly above on the Marvell serial 6.0 connector. You will then connect the other end of the cable to your hard drive. Now that the hard drive and CD drive are connected via SATA cables, we will install the GPU/graphics card/graphics processing unit. If you have a PCI-Express 2 graphics card, you will install it into the PCI-Express 16 port, which is located here. You will install the rear of the card first by inserting the foot into the switch. Once you hear the click and the switch depresses, make sure that the graphics card is evenly placed and seated across the slot. Once your graphics card is in place, you will secure it with 2 screws. Instead of screws, some cases simply have levers which you will slide over the edge of the card to secure it. Step 5. Installing the power supply unit. Now it is time to install your power supply unit. Slide your power supply unit in, being very careful not to drop it, because if it falls it's probably going to take out some of the hardware below it. Once your power supply unit is in, make sure that you secure it to the back of the case with the 4 screws provided. Now that your power supply unit is installed, we are ready to connect the power cables. Now that your power supply is secured in place, you want to install the ATX 24-pin power connector to the motherboard. This is the motherboard's main source of electricity. Now you want to combine these 2 4-pin CPU power connectors and then place them here on the motherboard. These connectors provide a main source of power for your CPU. Next, you will install 2 modular PCI-Express 6+2 pin connectors into your power supply. On the opposite end, you will connect both of those connectors to your graphics card. Now you will take 2 modular SATA cables and connect them into your power supply. The first cable will be connected to your CD drive to provide power, and the second cable will be connected directly to your hard drive, which will provide that with power. Next, you will plug this conglomeration of wires in with the power supply's peripheral 4-pin modular connector. Now we will connect the front panel fan. Take one of the fan cables from the conglomeration of wires and weave it through until you can join it with the power cable from the front panel fan. If you have another fan in your computer, you can plug it in with this power cable. If not, tuck the cable away for later. Step 6. Closing the case. The final step in building your own dream computer is plugging in the exterior fan power of the case door. If you don't have this case, you probably skip this step, but if you do, you will plug the power into the conglomeration of wires and then close your case as usual. Make sure to fasten the 2 screws on the back of the case and then plug it in and get ready to rock a rolly, son. You got a new computer. If you found this video helpful at all, or would like to see what this computer is capable of, please head over to my channel, take a look at some videos, and maybe hit that subscribe button. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next video.